So Piggy chapter 12 is over, but there's a few unanswered questions. What's going on, guys? My name's Anthony, or Big B Stats, and welcome back to another Roblox Piggy prediction video for you guys. So today, I'm going to be talking about Piggy, also talking about some things that happened in chapter 12, especially the true ending, which took a lot to get. Also, if you do enjoy this video, remember to leave a like and share it, and also feel free to subscribe for more. And if you're new, and if you want to stay up to date with more Roblox and Roblox Piggy in general, make sure to turn on notifications and again, subscribe. And if you want to show your further support, you can always use star code BIGB2 when purchasing Robux. But with that being said, sit back, relax, and let's talk about the true ending and what we think about chapter 12 in a whole. First off, I want to say that Piggy chapter 12 was extremely fun, but it's probably one of the most chapters I've played in my life. I put more than 20 hours into playing Piggy chapter 12 due to looking for the true ending, which I really hope that Minitoon actually does this again in the future, bringing back something like this, because for once it had the whole community looking for one thing, and it was just a lot of fun, and it almost felt like its own event in a way. But Piggy chapter 12 revealed some things in the true ending, which I want to talk about the true ending and talk about some things from a different perspective, and we can kind of have this discussion down below in the comments on what you think, and if you have any questions as well on things maybe you want to hear me talk about and what I think on certain characters. So let's go ahead and talk about the true ending, and if you did miss out on the true ending, I will link a video down below in the description on how to unlock that. You will also get the MS.P skin as well, which is amazing. So let's talk about the true ending. So the true ending really focused on Mr. P, and I would say Miss P for sure. And it starts out with Mr. P telling you the story that he's developing, or he did develop a cure for the sickness of his wife, Miss P. So that's one thing that is also right, that Miss P appears to be Mr. P's wife, which I thought was something that was kind of checked off of the prediction list as well, especially when we saw the picture at the very end of chapter 8. At least it was like, okay, this is definitely Miss P. So Mr. P goes on to tell you that he put all his time and money into saving her. So that's another prediction that is right, that Miss P was sick and Mr. P, really wanted to find a cure and save Miss P. Now the thing is that this was rushed, and Mr. P took this to the hospital, and it turns out that this cure again was not stable at all. And do remember that TSP did leave a note that Mr. P funded this cure as well, which I'll get more into talking about TSP too. And yeah, so Mr. P finds out that this cure, quote unquote, is unstable, but Mr. P doesn't listen. He actually goes on and proceeds to give Mrs. P the actual so-called cure. But he did also test it out as well on the Piggy family, which the Piggy family was nice enough to actually volunteer. And at first he said it worked, they became stronger. But then during that process of it working, he gave it to Mrs. P, but it turned out that the Piggy family actually got infected. And it turns out that Miss P also got infected as well, which is something that we do know too. But although I am a little bit curious to how, if Mrs. P is infected, and it turned out that Mrs. P became aggressive and Mr. P just couldn't deal with kind of dealing with that, so he actually left. So my thing is that, you remember when we see Mrs. P in the city, like, is that a cured Mrs. P or is it not? As far as we know, there is technically no cure out there, which we will talk about the true ending, not just the true ending, but the good ending, shall I say. But the last time that Mr. P actually saw Miss P was that she had red eyes. So she was 100% infected. That is what we know. Now we do know in this bit that also Mr. P was with Bunny. So Bunny was the partner that of course we had to save back in the hospital. And Mr. P also tried to make more cures as well. But the thing is that Mr. P was trying this out on people, which makes Mr. P in somewhat of a way type of evil, I would say. And he also finds out that, we also had a sign of infection within us, but we were still alive as well. So I'm sure in the hospital bit, they also ran some tests on us too, which was also kind of crazy. But it says before, there was a part of the true ending where he said, before they could do more research in the hospital, they were raided and Bunny was attacked, and he gave Bunny a rushed cure. thinking it would save her, probably due to the fact that, you know, the signs of aggression, they became stronger. So I guess his intentions were good, but I guess his moral code was just not great either, due to the fact that he gave his friend Bunny the cure, knowing that it would actually turn her infected. So that is something really bad, and I don't think it actually just infected her. I think she actually died, which also makes it even worse in a way, because at the end of the chapter you are dealing with Ghost Bunny and also Ghost Doggy. But the thing I'm trying to also think about as well is that, you know, in chapter 4 when Doggy gets infected, I guess that is Mr. P going around giving these potions and trying to test them out at least. Now we do know that Sheepy, which is in chapter 4 as well, does have some correlation with Mr. P too, because he talked about that in a note about Miss P, Bunny, and Sheepy. But the fact that, you know, Mr. P still went through and gave Bunny this potion was just like pure evil, I would say, in a way. And it's just unfortunate that he also gave this potion, I believe, to Doggy. But what was the purpose of giving it to Doggy? I guess what, trying to test this out. And it also, I'm sure that Bunny and Doggy have the same exact potion at least. But what if he was going for Sheepy? But it's a little bit confusing too. There's still so much to the story. Still trying to learn as well what TSP or who TSP actually is. Are we still thinking TSP is the super potato? And we did find out that this cyborg Mr. P is not TSP, by the way, as well. So really trying to figure out, you know, there's still a lot of unanswered questions here too. You know, why, and you know, is there a way to bring back Bunny and Doggy? There is no cure out there at all either. And I know there's been talks with Minitoon about bringing a Piggy 2 at some point, which maybe we'll talk about that in the future. But there's still a lot of questions, and I'm really glad it ended the way it did. Left a lot of questions and left a lot of room for speculations as well. And I think Minitoon also enjoys these predictions that a lot of people do, including myself. And yeah, it's really cool to also see too. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for the video. But if I had to ask you guys, what do you guys think? What are some unsolved questions? Like, you know, who is patient zero? Things like that. What happened to Doggy? I would love to have more of a backstory about Doggy. That would be amazing. Like some side chapters would be good. You know, what about the SI? Don't trust the SI. Was that the actual signal? And again, all the TSP notes towards Doggy and Foxy. There's still a lot of questions here to be answered. And I would love to see if we get that in the next Piggy, or, you know, he did also mention that it wouldn't pick up with chapter 13 either. Like it would just be kind of like another story as well. But I would assume it would pick up on this same kind of storyline at least, but I just don't know if it will pick up right where it left off. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, again, feel free to leave a like and share it, and also feel free to subscribe for more. And I'll leave you with some of these questions. Do you think who is, you know, what was the SI? Is that actually, you know, the signal? Was that the signal? And who do you think TSP is, or what does TSP actually stand for? Patient 02. What do you guys think about that one? And again, what about that dream that George had? I guess that was just mainly knowing the fact that he knows that his family is infected and was infected, and he's actually just really angry. But maybe we'll find a cure in the next season of Piggy. We'll just have to see. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video.